Alright, I don't know if I'll be the first, but I may be the last. I'm gonna do the Candyman challenge before I go in and see this movie. Everyone's doing the Candyman, so this is my take on it. I'm doing the rearview mirror on the way to the movie. Alright, here we go. Candyman. 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 Oh shit! What the? Pennywise, get the hell out of my back seat.
Before we get started, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell for more content in the future.
Okay, so I'm headed to go see Candyman. They have an early showing at a theater near me. I was going to wait until tomorrow, but I had a little bit of free time, so I'm going to go see it now and let you know what I think, all right? I'm headed there now. See you when I get out. All right, I just got out from seeing Candyman 2021, or you could say 2019, because at the beginning of this movie, it's like present day 2019, but we all know what happened in the world and things were delayed, but I'm so glad we finally are getting this movie. Now, this is starring Yaya Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, or what the fuck's his name? Yaya Abdul Mateen, and it's directed by Nia Decosta. Sorry about the low lighting and everything. I'm doing this right out of the theater. Very, very well made. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. This is like got to be one of the better slashers. This is a sequel to the 1992 original. I don't think they reference anything of Candyman Farewell to the Flesh, or what was the third one? Candyman, I think it was straight to DVD, like Day of the Dead or something. And I don't know if they made any other straight to DVD ones, but I don't really remember much about the third one. But second one I remember being kind of creepy, but I need to revisit it because I've heard about how horrible it is and it doesn't stick to really the mythology. They do expand on the mythology on this film that I really, really dug. But the star of this movie really is Nia Decosta. I want to see more work from her. This movie was so well shot. It was beautiful. It was artistic. It was some of the cinematography of like just how what they did with mirrors and the scope of the scenes and everything. It was so cool. It was so cool, and I kept thinking to myself, wow, Nia Decosta would be amazing for a Nightmare on Elm Street sequel or remake or whatever. And that's all I kept thinking about when I was watching this movie. I was like, wow, like the way they expanded this mythology, they could do the same thing with Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, do a direct sequel to the original, and kind of pass the mantle, kind of like how they do on this one. Kind of take some notes from this, and just the way the visual look of the movie and the cinematography, I was thinking, wow, like I really want to see Nia Decosta do a Nightmare on Elm Street remake or you know, retelling or hopefully a sequel. And kind of like, I really think, okay, enough about Nightmare on Elm Street. I know this is about Candyman 2021. All right, let's talk about the pros. The pros: Yaya Abdul Mateen, very great actor. He's up and coming. If he's not already there, he did a fantastic job in this movie. So did his girlfriend. I'm not good with names, especially in movies, but his girlfriend did really good. She's kind of got a final girl scene with this movie. She's a lot of the forefront as well. Some of the acting, okay, maybe it's not the acting. Maybe it's some of the writing for some of the characters near the beginning of this movie, especially for the director or the art guy that was over the art show and everything. Some of his dialogue, the delivery of it was like very cheesy, and I was like, come on, like this is, I understand he's a scuzz bucket and all that, but that just the way they could have made, so I don't know, it just seemed a little cheesy. I heard a lot of reviews, because I know a lot of people's already seen this, and I know a lot of people are saying that this, they didn't like that the off-screen kills, but I think it worked perfectly in this. I don't think we need, I think it had just the right amount of gore. It had some body horror, had some grotesque stuff, but they used Candyman in this movie like a ghost, almost like, you only see him in the mirrors instead of like in the original. It was like you say his name 5 times and he just shows up and he's like in the present form. This, they're using a lot of mirrors and reflections to kind of show him in the background of what he's doing, while in present time the people are getting slashed and killed, and it looks like a ghost is happening, kind of like if you saw something like on a possession movie, you know, like a Conjuring movie where people are getting slung around and sliced up or thrown around or something like that. They're kind of doing that, but you can also see Candyman in the reflection, which I thought that was fucking awesome. That was amazing. Congrats, Nia Decosta. I can see why Marvel has scooped you up, and you're gonna do the Marvels movie, or the sequel to Captain Marvel or whatever. Like, amazing. Keep your eye on her work. This movie comes out tomorrow, so this is Thursday night. I went ahead and got to see it, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about some spoilers. A lot of people want to know, is Tony Todd in this movie? And the answer to that is yes, he is in this movie. They do talk about his story a lot. They talk about Helen from the 1992 and how like the story changed from the media aspect than what really happened, what we saw. So I highly recommend seeing the first Candyman before you see this, because you will be kind of like confused on certain story beats. Now Tony Todd's presence, we see like images of him, like you know, in this world there's more than just one Candyman. He was the first, yes, Tony Todd was, but it's passed on from generation to generation of who Candyman can be. They want to keep the legend going, so there's always going to be a fresh take on Candyman. There's always going to be a new Candyman for this area. But Tony Todd, yes, he is in it very briefly near the end, or maybe I'd say at the very end, almost like the last shot of the movie. But I felt like his presence was just fan service, was like an afterthought, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to see him a little bit like in the middle, and they kind of do this de-aging with him, which he looks good. He looks like he did in 1992. I'm actually going to meet Tony Todd at Texas Frightmare Labor Day weekend in Dallas, Texas, so I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, I definitely want to get a picture with this guy, you know, maybe ask him a couple questions, have a conversation. I don't know, we'll see. But pros, the way they do the legend, the way they bring it to the forefront with like you know, you come to find out that Yaya's character was the baby in 1992 that was that Candyman wanted, and he had a purpose for him, and they kind of expand on that. Now, a con that I do have about this story beat is that I wish they had some sort of connection to what, like, why is he back in Chicago? It's just that it's a coincidence. He's back in Chicago. He never knew he was from this area. He didn't know he was the baby from the area. That's fine not knowing, but maybe something lured him in. Give us a story beat, because they do have this guy named Burke that owns a laundromat that knows the legend of Candyman. They do a little bit of backstory on him. You see it in the trailer of he was the one that witnessed his Candyman getting murdered and all that, so he wants to keep this legend alive. So he knew all about Yaya being the baby, and he says near the end of the movie, when he gets to the climax in the movie, that I knew that one day you would come back and blah 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 blah. How in the fuck did he know that he was the baby? Why didn't they write something in there to where, like, maybe Yaya's character, I'm just calling him Yaya. Yaya's character, I'm kind of losing my voice here. Can you hear that? Yaya's character was lured back into this art world to bring his story back. It was just all kind of a coincidence, and then it seemed like the afterthought was like, oh, this guy knew who this guy was, and then everything in the climax, like he wanted to keep this legend going. That's all fine and dandy, but I wanted to see something like he was brought back purposefully. Yaya's character as the baby, he was brought back intentionally. That's what I wanted to see. I think that would have made the story beat a little bit better, and if they showed a little bit more of Tony Todd, because like it does seem like the climax is really, really rushed, and certain beats I was kind of like, what the hell? That's it? Like why did they execute this whole scene? It felt like Nia Decosta didn't even like direct the climax of this movie, except for the part where she summons Candyman back to save her, because they put her in the back of the police car, and the officer is like, hey, this is the story we're going to go with, or we can say you're an accomplice, blah blah blah, which story do you want to go with? And it showed like the manipulation of the police department, how they do certain situations whenever they're at fault for gunning the wrong person down, especially in the black communities. And so this makes her say, you know what, I'm gonna summons Candyman. So what else does she have to lose? She's starting to like lose it here at this point. So he puts the rear view mirror on her in the back seat. She says Candyman 5 times. Candyman shows up, kills all the police department, or not the whole police department, everybody that's on the scene there. It was about 4 cops that responded to that call, and then she's let out, and then that's where you see that it's Yaya's character. He's the one murdering everybody, but there's all these bees like all over him, and when he's murdering the last cop and she's sitting there looking at him, the bees kind of dissipate, and you see Tony Todd. Now it's Tony Todd, and he says, tell everyone. And so yeah, it just shuts off like that. So like, hopefully, I hope this does make a lot of money, because it is getting more, it's getting good reviews. I think it's right now certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, and they can really expand on this. I want to see just like a balls to the wall sequel, but I do hope that Nia Decosta does direct the sequel, because that's what really shined in this movie, was the direction. So like I said, I think Tony Todd's appearance was an afterthought. It was just kind of fan service there at the end. It didn't really like do anything for the story or anything. It was just kind of like, oh, we need to do this right here. People are gonna love this, especially with it being the last shot of the movie. Great movie. One of the better slashers. I'm so glad slashers are making a comeback. We got Halloween Kills coming up. We got Scream 5 or Scream 2022, whatever you want to call it. We have another Jeepers Creepers, which I don't know much about that one, how well that one's going to do. I want to see something like this expanded and to the Nightmare on Elm Street world, because I really think they could really expand on that. That's one of my favorite franchises, Scream, and I'm a big Wes Craven fan. So yeah, that's what you get in this movie. If I had to rate this, you know, if you're subscribed to my channel, I don't really like to rate movies, but if you wanted me to rate this, I would rate it a B+. Just for the direction on its own. Sorry, I just got a phone call. Just for the directing of this film. Beautifully shot. I honestly want to watch it again. A lot of people talk about how short it is. It is like running like right at 90 minutes, but I think it's okay. I just think that the beginning is just such a slow build-up, which I do like. The older I get, I'm liking more slower movies, especially in my horror genre. Explaining stuff, giving that just tension and vibe to it, and expanding the storytelling of it, instead of it just being kill, carnage candy. I love carnage candy, but there's got to be a purpose, and it can't be distasteful, in my opinion. That's what I think that makes a really good slasher, a really good horror movie. Some movies are made to just be carnage candy, like Friday the 13th, but something like this, the mythology and everything, they really needed that. But I think that the first and second act took so much of a build-up, took so much screen time, that they had to rush that third act. Maybe the studio only said you only got 90 minutes to work with. They had to cut it down, so maybe we'll get a director's cut. This, I believe that this should be on streaming after 17 days. I think that's what they have for this studio. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it will be out by Halloween. I'm pretty sure it's going to be out by Halloween, and I will be getting a steelbook. I hope there's a steelbook on this movie. But all right, guys, that's my review on Candyman 2021, 2019, whatever you want to call it. Great movie. Great. I make this movie work, because we need more slashers. Go support this movie. It was Thursday night. It was already a packed cinema, so I really don't think we have too much to worry about. And the word of mouth and the buzz of this movie is very positive. So please go see this movie so we get a sequel, because this would be awesome. But I don't know if Nia Decosta will come back and do a sequel, since she's on the Marvel train now. Disney has her now. Why would she come back to this? So maybe if Jordan Peele, he produced this one, he had his hands all over it. You could tell. Maybe if he comes back and directs the sequel, that would get a lot of fans pumped. So yeah, maybe if that's the direction they go, they would have to get a really good director to do the sequel, because I don't think it would be as good as this if they don't have somebody on the level of Nia Decosta. Okay, that's it. That's all I'm going to say. Watch this movie. Very good. Wasn't crazy about the Burt character. Climax is rushed, but very well made. Congrats, Nia Decosta. Last time I'm gonna say it. All right, this is Destination Station. As always, I'm Destin. Subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.